6 episodes, one stubborn survivor. This is Gregorio Willard's story, a short, messy recap of mistakes made and lessons learned. Here's everything that's happened so far. Day 1, Gregorio found himself in a random home in a Rosewood suburb. He grabbed the essentials and took to the streets, clearing several houses, including one survivor house, finding multiple backpack options along the way. That immediate haul allowed him to carry plenty of supplies and loot a large portion of the neighborhood before returning back to his starting house to rest for the night. The next day, with gear in hand, Gregorio narrowed his focus. During this episode, he made a clear shift from chaotic scavenger to deliberate survivor. He found himself a pickup truck and then scouted a spot that could easily be defended. Then he cleared the nearby zombies, rendering the area safe enough to sleep. The next day, Gregorio started with a trip to a nearby fire station to get some axes. He then brought those axes back home to start cutting down some trees, so then he could use that wood to barricade all the windows on the newly established base. Once those fortifications were up, he redirected his focus to something he had seen the day before. 2 different trailers that he had passed while exploring the area. He brought both trailers home, one cargo trailer and one livestock trailer. What really got Gregorio excited was that the livestock trailer came with a little bonus. Big Mac, Gregorio's first farm animal. He's an Angus bull and produces nothing without slaughtering, but Gregorio's happy to have the company for now. Episode 4 is when the game starts to fight back a little bit. Gregorio's main goal is base upgrades to prepare for when the water and the power go out. This fancy base of his came with its own generator in the garage, but not only does he not know how to use it, he doesn't even have the fuel for it anyway. So off to the nearby gas station he went. Dropping a load of zombies along the way, Gregorio managed to get everything he was looking for from the gas station. Food, drinks, cigarettes, and more gasoline than he had storage space for. So that was handled. Now to prepare for the water shutting off. At this point, Gregorio realized he had somehow managed to avoid picking up any trash bags so far. Luckily, a nearby store was well stocked and he was able to get in, get what he needed, and get back home without much issue. With those supplies, he was able to build a few rain collectors just off the 2nd floor of the house and plumb them to his kitchen sink. The last piece of the puzzle for all of this work was just the skill to use the generator. Gregorio knew there was a magazine out there that would teach him how to do this, so he set off to the only place he could think of that would definitely have books, the local school. He did find a lot of books, but nothing nearly as useful as what he was hoping for. So once he realized that was a waste of time, he headed back for the truck. Gregorio then had a near-death experience on his way out of the school when he decided to take on multiple zombies at once. It gave him quite the scare, and he immediately ran back to the safety of his own bed. The next day, realizing he was running low on food, Gregorio decided to set off for a nearby grocery store. It was, of course, crawling with zombies, so he had to spend a while clearing them from the area. He then made his way inside and repeatedly overloaded himself with food, cramming everything he could into the back of his truck. While doing this, he noticed there was a bus parked behind the store. Not only was it in great shape, but it also had a key. It did not, however, have much gas. So Gregorio headed home, unloaded his goods, grabbed one of his mini gas cans, and took off on foot back to the grocery store. He went down there, put the gas into the bus, and drove the bus back home. After that, he decided his current outfit wasn't really working for him anymore because it had gotten some holes in it, and he had no idea how to do tailoring yet. So he took off to the nearby clothing store. After spending a stupid amount of time clearing the nearby zombies, he was able to make his way inside and get himself set up with a new outfit. When he returned home, he went to check his rain collectors and realized that something was missing. Big Mac, his bull, running frantically. Gregorio started searching everywhere. He ran into town, he ran out of town. By sheer luck, he managed to spot Big Mac in the trees back behind the base. Gregorio roped him and brought him back home, noting that his next goal was going to be to set up a perimeter so this doesn't happen again. The next day, Gregorio followed through with his plan. He spent some time chopping down trees and building log walls with gates at each end of the street, sectioning off a 3-house area for his base. The security of this new perimeter got tested almost instantly when Big Mac went sprinting off because a zombie had started banging on a nearby fence. Once that nuisance was handled, Gregorio decided his food supply was his next biggest priority. He had completely run out of fresh food and was already having to dig into his non-perishables. To combat this, he decided that getting seeds and planting his own crops was going to be the best option. He hopped in his truck and took off into the countryside, looking for a farm that might have some seeds. He eventually found what he was looking for and got himself a good number of seeds to start his own garden. But that just wasn't enough for him. Instead of going home, he decided to push things just a little bit further and keep exploring to see if he could find another grocery store. His journey led him to a town. What town? He doesn't have any idea, but there were a few stores that he definitely wanted to check out, namely this farm and rural supply store and the grocery store next to it. There was just one problem. There were more zombies here than Gregorio had ever seen in one place. Using the truck to bait the horde away from his target stores, he was able to sneak around back and get into the grocery store. However, he only looted 2 of the back rooms when the doors behind him caved in and zombies started coming for him. So he ended up making a quick escape, but quickly realized his truck was surrounded. After a few failed attempts to get to his truck, he had to admit defeat and run away. Luckily, he was able to find a nearby neighborhood that was relatively zombie-free. Once he cleared out just the couple of nearby threats, he was able to get to sleep. And that has you all caught up with where Gregorio is now. Trapped in an unknown town, a large horde nearby, and with no clear way out. Will he be able to retrieve his truck? Will he have to abandon his supplies and find another way home? Will he ever see home again? Find out by joining our Let's Play journey. You're all caught up to Season 2, Episode 7.